that. Okay, that's a bad angle. We got a fireplace here on some kind of a table, changing up the scenery. Oh, my cat's here. You want to see my cat? Of course you want to see my cat. Look at the cat. I'm dealing with a laptop here. Forgive me. It's a very old Mac. That is my cat. It looks Siamese. It isn't Siamese. It's actually part Siamese, part tabby. If my research is correct. Say hi to the camera. Come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you hear that? She's stepping on my keyboard. What are you doing? I'm sorry. My cat is down here. If you can see her at this point. I don't care either. Because she was mean and messed up my computer and, well, difficulties. So we're gonna put this here. And I'm just gonna, like, chill out in this chair. Oh, you can't see my face. There's a chair, and I'm just gonna chill out in the chair. If that's not at all too flamboyant or whatnot, I don't know. Hi again. I'm finally back. There wasn't that long of a wait, was there? No, there wasn't. Not much of a wait at all. And even though there was some editing right there, I don't want to do a lot of editing in this video. It's very time consuming. I don't have a lot of time. So if this looks really unprofessional, I'm sorry. I just don't have an option here. Because I wanted to do this. I wanted to do my next vlog, and I wanted to do it yesterday. Right now it's like 8:30, where I am on Wednesday night. And I was sitting at home and I did some homework and I was home alone, so I thought I should finally make my vlog because I can't when my family is around. I mean, in my last video I talked about how I came out to my parents and everything, but I don't think they'd want me just doing stuff like this. I don't know. It doesn't matter. My YouTube is none of their business as far as I'm concerned. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll find out. So, anyways, I don't know how many people are actually watching me. It doesn't matter either. I want to keep posting these nonetheless. But I actually got a question. And I was super excited about it, still am. And it was from, I don't remember the YouTube name, I'm sorry. You're still my favorite, by the way, because you asked a legitimate, difficult to answer question. That does not mean that I want comments that say, how do you nail Jello to a tree? Well, you put the nails underneath the Jello. Yes, I just did the impossible for you. How do you slam a revolving door? Okay, difficult and impossible to answer are different things. Just getting that out of the way. Out of my face, please, Aaron. Right, so his question was, you know, what do you think of human nature? Something along those lines, and talking about how can people change? Is their inner core evil or good? You know, can it be improved? I'm not sure if I'm getting this right. Maybe I should just pull that up. I apologize if my face gets a little weird as I'm looking at the computer screen here. Okay, here we go. I was wondering, what do you think about human nature? Do you think our society can change for the better? Can people be good with virtue and ethics without being corrupted by wealth and power? Can a person stop being self-centered and hurtful, or is his feelings all he follows? I hope the questions are not too simplistic. No, I would say the last problem is the questions being too simplistic. If anything, they're way too complex. I'm looking at those. I remember the first time I saw that, and I was immediately, before I read the question, oh, you're my favorite! And then I read the question, you're still my favorite, but how? Human nature, that is a touchy subject, because I'm not a religious person, but I'm definitely a religious one. No, wait, did I just say that? I think I just said that. I think I said that. Okay, we all have our stupid moments. This is mine. What I meant to say was I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person. That explains these. If you don't understand, don't ask. You know, I'm a very, very spiritual person. And I don't like the word Christian. In fact, I just got done going on a tirade with, was it my mother? No, it wasn't my mother. I don't remember who it was, but just talking about how Christianity needs it. I'm really doing this to this chair. There you go. cat over there. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Back to the question. Human nature. Well, you asked more than one question here. And I think what we can do is literally just answer each one individually. What do you think about human nature? What do I think about human nature? I think human nature is... It's something that has to be overcome. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I would say it's primeval. It's down there, and it's the inner core of, and it's what, you know, is our foundation, what we grow from and come from, and it's the very essence of our being. And this is such a spiritual subject, human nature. I mean, if you're a realist, an atheist, you know, what you see is what you get. There is nothing else but the physical. That looked awkward. Yeah, that's better. The physical. Then human nature doesn't exist. It's like saying that there's some kind of code of behavior or ethics that's fit into our DNA code. And I don't know if that's a worthy thing. You know? I think my family's home. So, and then yeah, my family is home. Cat in the hallway. Yeah, but you can't. Okay. Family's home, so I'm gonna take this elsewhere. Okay, back. I'm sorry. Last night which is what the earlier part of this video was from the night before. It is now Thursday at 8:30, so a whole 24 hours before I actually continued my vlog here. I was interrupted. I had to escape while Spy music was playing. Today, I'm having a bit of a bad hair day, but we should be okay, because it's just a video, right? Oh, and it just got dark. I have horrible lighting in my room. I'm sure there's some kind of setting on this computer that I could change. Okay. Alright, that should be fine then. It's actually really bright in my room, but my laptop doesn't know that. It doesn't take in any light, so the only thing I can do to get enough light for my face is to turn on my TV, PS2, good old PS2, and there's a game I have with like a white opening thing, so I just turn off the volume and it provides enough light to make my face illuminated without me moving stuff around all the time. It goes dark to some video thing, and it's ridiculous. Look, I'm flipping my hair again. That must be the most annoying thing ever. I'm sorry. Okay, so we were talking about some stuff, and I was discussing human nature, and I went on a little tirade about it. But to sum up what I was saying earlier, it was that, if you're a realist, then human nature doesn't exist. There's no way to have it. And if you're not a realist, if you have some spiritual aspects to your life, then you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from on human nature, and because I think human nature is double-sided. So first off, we have to say that it does exist, and then, because really, in a realist world, human nature doesn't technically exist, but in the world we're going to be dealing with, it exists. And that's coming from my very spiritual perspective. I think it's double-sided. I think that there's a part of everybody that's good, that wants to do good, that wants the best for everybody else, that really does care for other people, and there's a part that is only concerned with ourselves. It can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. And I think the good thing is our spiritual aspect of ourselves, and I think that the bad thing is probably more of the physical desires that we have. Oh, great, we're getting philosophical now. So human nature definitely has multiple sides to it. So your question, do you think our society can change for the better? Oh, absolutely. I definitely think it can. And it got dark again, didn't it? Yeah. Goodness, it's gonna be another long video. Okay, so do you think our society can change for the better? Oh, absolutely, yes, of course it can. If it can't, we're screwed. Because look, society has changed for the better in the past. We started out where women were the lowest of the low. They were supposed to sit there and deal. To sit there and take anything and everything a man wanted to throw at her, literally and figuratively. And now we're come to the point where we almost had a woman vice president. Granted, that was Sarah Palin, and I don't like Sarah Palin because she's a big advocator of Prop 8. I think society has to change. I mean, look, the first women had got their rights, and that's taken them as long as I can remember. That's not very long. African Americans had to get their rights, and so did Hispanics, and, you know, all these nationalities for civil rights movements. Then, you know, you had the issue with different religions and different political ideas. I mean, society has changed so much, and look at what, you know, the older homosexuals have had to sacrifice. Look at what they've had to do to get us where we are. Let's see the next question. Okay. Can people be good with virtue and ethics without being corrupted by wealth and power? Well, of course. And I think wealth and power can aid that. And that's a personal thing. And that comes again with the, you know, human nature can only take you so far as good goes. Because it's a primeval natural thing within us. That it's the instinct to survive. That's what human nature really is. And so sometimes I think survive is also live happily, considering that we can easily survive. Can a person stop being self-centered and hurtful, or is his feelings all he follows? Okay, so can a person change? Well, of course they can change. A self-centered person, they can easily change, and that comes with what, you know, a lot of philosophers called the art of removing oneself from the equation. And that's where you legitimately, you know, you'll think, oh, if I do this, this is going to happen to me. But then you stop yourself and you say, okay, but what will happen to everybody else? And you consider them. And if it's going to hurt them, even if this is going to hurt you, you put everyone else first. I kind of feel like that question has some personal attachment to it. And don't comment with an answer to this. Actually message me, because it sounds like a pretty personal matter, because I feel like, you know, you've got some kind of, maybe you know somebody who's really self-centered, or you know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people, bigots. Definitely think they can change. If that's where you're coming from with that question, there's probably some kind of personal thing to go with that question, or you were just curious of my opinion, in which case, my opinion is that human nature is literally the physical aspect of ourselves. It's the part of us that is earthly and has a bunch of physical desires, and that doesn't make it bad. It just means that's what it is. And then you have the spiritual aspect, which has the spiritual desires, which can be bad and good as well. It's fairly neutral. Either way, message me. There's got to be some kind of personal thing to go with this, or you were just curious of my opinion, which, as I was saying, is that we as people are bound by both physical and spiritual desires, and there are negative and positive desires in both areas. And, you know, so human nature isn't innately bad. A lot of it is bad. A lot of it is very negative, but a lot of it is really good. And as human beings, you know, I believe we were here to have a positive influence on the earth, because obviously we're above just about everything else. We definitely have more thought process than plants, and obviously we don't know what goes on in the animal's mind, but we have, you know, more than one. We have like languages and multiple forms of communication and technology, and, you know, so, you know, we have this higher potential, but I think we're higher there, and so it's our job to, put our human nature and really start, you know, becoming something and making ourselves, and that's a really important thing, I think. So human nature is pretty neutral in my opinion, and it can go either way. So, you know, I don't think we should rely on human nature, because I think it tends to lean bad, just because it's human nature. It's subjective to error, because we're human. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. I wanted to discuss it. Okay.